Yo, BJ Gaddour with the Daily BJ, and this is X2, a dumbbell workout using wheels. Before we get into each wheel, I want to talk about dumbbell setup, also kettlebell option if you want to incorporate that into your swing pattern. Now, if you have only access to a single pair of dumbbells or a couple pairs, my recommendation is going to be a hex rubber dumbbell setup, which allows you to get some good stability when they're grounded on the floor or on a box, bench, or step for push-up rows, etc. And they're very friendly to floors, great to grip, and you'd want to get at least, ideally, 3 pairs. A lighter option, a heavier option, and a medium option that's in between the light and heavy. Now, for someone like me, my strength level, a great option is to have a pair of 50s, a pair of 25s, and a pair of 10s. For all the higher rep, metabolic conditioning style of circuit training, that's a great option to flow between because you can go light, medium, heavy. You can mix up between rounds, between moves. Upper body moves tend to be a little more challenging. You might need lighter loads. Lower body moves tend to be stronger for you, so you can go heavier load on that. Just gives you options to go between. Also, some protocols will be shorter duration, which allows you to go heavier, and some protocols go longer duration work periods, which allow you to go, which require you to go lighter. So mix between those options. If you have the ability to get the highest end setup, I would go with adjustable dumbbells. Power blocks are my favorite option. Bowflex also works, but power blocks, again, kind of like the hex dumbbells, they work really great on the ground for the push-up supported positions, and they also allow you to put plate mates, which are magnetic plates in 1.25 to 2.5 pound increments that allow you to micro load between levels. So this already allows you to go 2.5 to 5 pounds up. This is a 50-pound pair of adjustable dumbbells from 5s all the way up to 50s, but in between those, I can micro load with plate mates and add them on. So this is like the ultimate option. Yes, it's expensive, but you can see I've got all my dumbbells in a very small space. I can store them away. It's a great option. Kettlebell wise, we get our kettlebells from Kettlebell Kings, pretty much the best option I've seen in the market. And I would start with a 12 to 16 kilogram kettlebell. If you're gonna pick one, if you're gonna pick two, get a 12 to 16 and get a 20 to 24 kilogram. Those are great starting points for your bells training. Bells is dumbbell and kettlebell, and some movements are better with dumbbells, some are better with kettlebells. Throughout this whole year, I'll say I prefer using dumbbells for this or kettlebells for this. You can modify most of the movements either way, but I'll at least tell you why my recommendation is such. So these are our bells options. I hope this helps. Let's get into the wheels. All right, baby, wheel one, the main move or the hub for this wheel is the box thruster. You want to set a box, bench, chair, ottoman at approximately a height where your top thigh is parallel to the floor, no lower than hip crease, just beneath knee crease. And we're going to grab, I'm using 25-pound pair of dumbbells for this. You might want to start with 10s. Very challenging movement. It's challenging even with your body weight. Even a bodyweight squat would be tough. So just consider that when you're adding load to do the overhead press with the squat pattern. So we're using the box again to auto-correct our form and technique, take pressure off the back and knees, and you know, light loads go a long way when you know how to properly program these movements. So we're here, feet about hip to shoulder width apart, slight toe flare is acceptable. Go hammer grip, palms facing. And what I'm gonna do is inhale through the nose into the belly. As I sit down, perfectly tall at the bottom, now I'm gonna explosively exhale to the mouth as I drive the weights overhead in one movement. Now you could speed up that rep tempo, but what I'd rather have you do is maintain those nice controlled descents, breathe pause at the bottom, and just try to get more explosion on the way up, all right? I don't want you bouncing off the box and losing form and technique or putting pressure in the back. The whole point of this is to not do that. So we're gonna keep coming back to that guy, have fun with it. If you fatigue and you don't have access to a lighter dumbbell, just hold one dumbbell like this and rock it like that. You can't get it directly overhead, but it's a nice little modification if you don't have the ability to modify with multiple weights. From there, our one arm get up. Now, I'm gonna show this first, just how to get into the position. I'm gonna switch arms so I can come towards you on this movement. But this is our foundational pattern to get up. We're gonna teach it in positional installments, all right? Full body movement on the ground. This is a really heavy core shoulder exercise. So I'm gonna get like this, fetal position, and anytime I'm like this, I'll take the bell and I'll roll onto my back that way. When I'm done with my set, based on which the sit-up or the get-up position. I'm gonna bring it back and roll back for the health of the joints to come back in this nice safe position. So here, I'm gonna switch sides. This is how you switch sides, by the way. I would just roll like that, lock in. So here's our bottom half get-up. I'm gonna roll to my back. The same side, knee is bent at 90 degrees. This leg is out to the side like that. The arm's initially here, and this is about 30 to 45 degrees away from the trunk. So I'm locked in. You're gonna press it overhead, just like this at chest level. Now, I'm going to take an inhale through the nose into the belly, and then smoothly exhale up as I go from back to forearm to hand. Now you can break it down into, ideally it's one smooth. You get better at your breathing this way. On the way down, inhale through the nose smoothly if you can to the return. Even though this arm is loaded with the dumbbell, this arm is also working too, so it's a double arm movement. Push all the way. No, yes, pack it down. And you want to focus on, as if you're doing a bridge with this leg or a single leg squat or split squat with this leg, you're driving these legs down into the ground, and you're active here so that, see how, don't let this leg come in, push it out. Think about single leg squat right there. All right, and then when you're done, you lower, roll, and then if you would switch sides, you're not going to, you're gonna go back to the hub, but you get the drift there. So that's that guy. It's gonna smoke you out. You can even go body weight if you want initially, but take your time with it. Great time under tension. It's gonna smoke you out in a big way. From there, we're going bear crawl rows. All right, so this is kind of where we learn how to row, because you lock in your core positioning. You keep the hips and shoulders square to the ground, get some more core activation. You can actually use kind of a reciprocal push-pull action. So one arm is pushing underneath, that's floored or grounded, the other arm is pulling, and vice versa. You can also add a push-up either in between each row or after doing each side. It's harder, you'll do more push-ups if you do it after every arm. So arm push versus arm push. You double the push-up. So that's up to you. Get into a good bear crawl position. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, and then from there, inhale, before you start, inhale through the nose into the belly. You're gonna exhale up, inhale through the nose down, exhale through the mouth up, inhale through the nose down, and then inhale down. Knees touch, you don't go all the way down, it's more of a top half push-up, exhale up. And I keep repeating that pattern. It's gonna smoke the core, the shoulders, also kind of helps improve your breathing mechanics, pelvic alignment. This one is just a phenomenal exercise. If it's too hard with the knees elevated, just do it with the knees on the floor, okay? Same concept. I'm just making sure that, you know, it's hard to do the push-up like that, but you get the drift. You have to back off to the knees and just do the rows only. You can do it, but the elevated option is gonna be the preferred option. You get more quad engagement and more instability challenge there. Final two accessories or spokes. We've got a 2-to-1 row to curl. The row is the easier or stronger movement, so you do twice as many reps of that, and then we do a curl, rocking through up our hip hinge pattern. So knees are soft, then the entire movement is driven through the hips. Think about closing a car door with your butt. So inhale through the nose into the belly on the descent. I'm gonna exhale up, arms form 90-degree angles. Row your hands more towards the hip. Don't over pull and round that delt. 90-degree angles there. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale to the stangle right into the hammer curl. And then I would repeat that pattern. And keep flowing. Now, what's great there is if you're not used to being in that bent over position, you get to break it up by standing back up and curling. So obviously beyond working, you know, total upper body pull pattern, it's just a great way to learn how to hinge. It's a great way to break up the hinge pattern to build strength and stability. Now this final option is more challenging because you're gonna stay bent over the whole time. 2-to-1 row to reverse fly. So, 2 rows. Now, slight bends in the elbows. Exhale up, reverse fly. Okay, and if you have to stand up and kind of break up each rep, you can, and then get back into it. Try to stay down there the whole way. really challenge the back side of your body. Your lower back is a stabilizer. Muscle burn is fine there, but pain is not. So listen to your body. You can always modify and do that 2-to-1 row to curl one more time if needed, or just break up each rep by coming to a stand. But that is an excellent way, and both those movements, by the way, when you do a complex where you're stronger on one movement versus the other, you have to load for the weak movement. So whatever, you might be able to roll a lot of weight, but if you can only reverse fly 10s and you can rows, let's say 30s or 35s, you've got to use 10s for that movement. It's part of how I'm doing this. I want to make sure we don't load too heavy, make these lighter loads go a longer way, and clean up form and technique. So that's wheel 1. Wheel 2 is next. All right, wheel 2, the hub is a kettlebell swing or a dumbbell skier swing. Maybe 2 options there. And also with the kettlebell, we can modify with a sumo deadlift to make it work. But here's the dumbbell option. Now, the kettlebell option you do with wider stance, kind of sumo stance, bell between the legs. The dumbbell option, you have a close stance, arms outside the legs. Now, this is great because a swing is a hip hinge. All right, it's not a squat. It's basically we keep the knees soft and you're hip hinging back and forth. That's the pattern. Now, if you are prone to squatting and/or you don't have a kettlebell or not comfortable doing the kettlebell swing, having weights outside like this with feet close feet make it very hard for you to squat. It kind of auto-corrects your form. It's going to force you to drive more through the hips, and this is a great option to modify with super metabolic. Think about a downhill skier. You can hold the weights like this, load up. All right, flat back, head in line with the spine. Inhale through the nose into the belly on the descent. Exhale up to plank. Let your arms go dead, okay? This is not a front raise. It's my hips that are driving the movement. Your arms are just basically, think about the dumbbell just being part of your hand. Like you've got 25-pound hands, all right? And flowing that way. Now the swing is this way, about 12 to 18 inches in front of the body, toes ahead, hinge, flat back. You wanna take the hands and kind of take your shoulders now, screw them down and back into the sockets. Create tension in your lats. These are core and spinal stabilizers. Inhale through the nose into the belly as you hike back. Exhale through the mouth on the way up. You should feel nothing in the quads. If you do, that means you're squatting too much. Modification. Just do a sumo deadlift. Kind of a hybrid knee bender and hip bender, okay? Takes pressure off your back if you have really tight hamstrings. A way to access this movement, this full body exercise. And here we go. You can lock it in, inhale down, come right up. You can pause between each rep, kind of dead stop it, or you can touch and go. See how more upright I am? So again, for those that aren't confident in that hip hinge pattern or the hamstrings are tight or history of low back pain, modify with that sumo deadlift, okay? From there, we went into our accessories. The one arm sit up. Similar as the bottom half get up, we go to fetal position and we roll, instead of in this one leg bent, one leg straight pattern, both legs are straight in kind of a V shape, okay? You gotta focus on, again, getting active. I know this is upper body core intensive, but active lower body keeps tension and stability and allows us to stay in motion and also protects the low back. So again, I'm gonna roll onto my back, get set, and then from there, inhale through the belly into the nose. Push up now. I'm gonna keep this arm completely straight, and I wanna focus on this offhand reaching to the same side foot, okay? So from there, slowly inhale down, come back one vertebra at a time. One vertebra at a time. That exhale during the most challenging portion of the exercise, the concentric or lifting phase, and then find stability on the way back down by inhaling through the nose into the belly. Okay? Then suit up with the dumbbell. You can hold a shoe or just do with one hand like this and rock it out. But man, awesome core exercise. It's a big part of our grounded core strength we'll build upon all year. Next movement is the push-up row, which is just like the bear crawl except our legs are straight now. So it requires more stability, and also now we can do a full range of motion push-up. Here we go like this. So I'm locking in, get that push-pull action going. Exhale through the mouth up, And then I can add a push-up between reps to make it harder. Inhale through the nose, exhale up. Inhale through the nose, exhale up. And keep alternating that pattern. The final exercise is the top half get up or the kneel to stand. Now, I can hold the weight here, easiest, medium difficulty, hardest. This makes a 25-pound weight here feels like 50 to your body when it's overhead, okay? So I'm gonna show you this option. I'm gonna keep my hips and shoulders completely square to the ground. Only same side leg is coming. You do the full set on this side and then switch the next time you come back. So inhale through the nose into the belly. Smooth exhale from tall kneel to stand. Smooth inhale back. Okay, big focus here. I'm gonna set the weight down is I don't wanna shift, okay? Go as light as you have to. Even body weight in the beginning like this will work. I'm locked in. What I wanna avoid is, see that? Tilting, turning, or other way. I'm gonna be smooth, and it's just gonna focus on driving this knee underground and sliding this guy up. You might even wanna just you can even stay in practice right here. And you can modify the movement just to this position here to get the engagement and then eventually work it in to a stand. This is an insane workout, teaching you all of our basic dumbbell drills. Will build upon the rest of the year, add variation to it, complexity, intensity, load, you name it. Uncle Baby's excited, and so should you be. Bye-bye.
Go. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Go. Halfway. Rest. Halfway. Go. Halfway. Rest. 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 Rest. Go. Halfway.